if you want to make a subheading here, which is transforming the trick. Now, what we're going to do is, that's very messy, sorry about that. What we're going to do is, we're going to use a mathematical tool, actually a series of mathematical tools that you've been learning over the last 2 years to change this trick, to transform it, right? And I wonder how many of you have worked out which trick it is. I just haven't told you what topic of maths we're in. I've just been making you do the maths without telling you what's going on, okay? Firstly, do you need to clean that? Just hold on to it for now. We'll move it later. Firstly, what we're going to do is, to transform the trick, you need to understand the trick well yourself, right? So let's actually rehearse the basic tricks and the basic facts, and this will help you actually perform it later if you forget, okay? How many cards, when we did the standard trick, did you give to the person that you were performing the trick on? How many? 9. 9 cards, okay, so you give 9 cards. Now what that means is, once like they select their card and it's on top, right? That means there are how many cards remaining? You already calculated it. There were 43 cards remaining, but that means the special card, when you put the 43 on top, right? The special card was one underneath this one. So it was position, you wrote it down, 44. Okay, so position 44. Maybe if you've got another color, we'll put a big box around this because this is kind of the key, right? Now then what did we do? Well, we made 4 piles of cards in front of us, right? And the important number that we were actually going towards was like 4 lots of 11, right? That's what gave us 44. Does that make sense? So it's really 4 piles of 11, and you would get to 11 if you counted all the way down to 0, right? But actually, I didn't say to count down from 11. I said to count down from 10, because it's one less than that. Because let's suppose, if I counted down from 5, right? It'd go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you'd put down a 0 card. So there would be 6 cards there now, right? So that's 1 extra, okay? So therefore, if we want 4 piles of 11, we count down from 10. Make sense? Okay? All right, now this is the whole trick. This is it, right? So we want to do the transformation. So here's what I'm going to do, right? I suggested to you, what if we change the numbers that we've got here, okay? There's really only 2 numbers that get us to position 44. Can you see which are the numbers that make 44? It's the 4 and the 11, right? These are the 2 numbers that matter. This is how many piles you've got, right? And in fact, if you want, it's kind of this 11. I draw your attention to this 10, really, right? So let's call this the sort of countdown pile, right? Okay, so let's change both of those numbers by saying who knows what those are, and we have a whole area of maths devoted to when you've got numbers, but you don't know how big they are or how small they are. And so because you can't say it's 4 or 5 or 6, you have to give it some alternative name. You have to put, like, say, for example, a letter in front of it like X or Y or whatever. Now, this is piles, so why don't we choose a letter like P? For piles, because I mean I could call it X or Y, but I might as well choose a letter that tells me, that reminds me what the thing is. Does that make sense? And we do this all the time. You guys know, like, the area of a circle is, what's the formula? Pi r squared, and we call it r because it stands for radius. You might as well use a letter that helps you. So we're going to have P piles, right? And then there's some other number here that we count down from, right? So because it's the countdown number, let's call that C. Really? Really? Okay, so these are the numbers that are going to be key, right? Now, think about this with me. Let's now reverse engineer it. I'm going to go back through this in reverse. If this is the countdown number, then really I've got to actually, when I'm doing this trick, I've got to aloud, I don't say 11, I say 1 less than that, right? So the number I say aloud actually starts from not C, but C minus 1. Very good. C minus 1. Okay? So far, so good. So then, I'm going to have P times C. That's this position, right? So the card will be in position P times C. So I'll just put an orange box around that, just like it was before. So if that's the position I want to get in, then how many cards do I have to take away from the person and get Aria to shuffle, right? Have a look, what's the relationship? It's just one less, right? So it's that number, P times C, take away 1, right? So what I want to do is say P, I might as well just say PC. That's the same as P times C. Take away 1. These are the cards that I hold on to. These are the cards that the person choosing doesn't get to choose from, right? So in this case it was 43, which left you with 9 cards to choose from. Now, last piece to the puzzle. Have I got enough colors? Was there a blue somewhere? Is there a blue? Can you throw it at me, please? Good throw. Okay. What's the relationship? And most of you wrote it down, right? From this number, which is P times C, take away 1. What's the relationship to that number?
Minus from 52.
So, yeah, minus from 52. So this number, whatever it is, I go 52 take away that, and it'll give me the number of cards to hand over. Okay? So I'm going to go 52, this is therefore, 52 take away whatever that was, right? P times C, take away 1. I can do better than that. Can't we simplify this? We've learned algebra tools to do this, right? When you've got this minus outside of these brackets, what happens? It's going to be 52 take away. That distributes to the PC. And then here I've got a double negative. What happens with a double negative? That's plus 1, plus 1. But I know what 52 plus 1 is. It's just 53. Okay, I'm ready to go. Now let's see. If I actually use this to transform my trick, suppose we don't want 4 piles of 11, right? Maybe we want, I don't know, 5 piles of, don't pick too big a number because I've only got so many cards in the deck. How about, okay, let's go with 7. 5 piles of 7, okay? Now, if I really want 5 piles of 7, I'm actually going to, when I do the trick, I'm going to count down from 1 less than that, right? C take away 1. So I'm going to count down from 6 when I do this, okay? And then, well, how many cards am I going to give to you now? It's 53 take away P times C. 53 take away 5 times 7. Can you tell me what 5 times 7 is? It's 35. That looks to me like, take away 30 gives you 23. Take away the 5 gives you 18? Does that look right? Yeah, because 18 plus 35 will get me back. Okay, so let's give it a whirl, shall we?